Nityananda, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Prabhu Anna, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, the class will start in another couple of minutes. The speaker has just reached.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nityananda Ram Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Vedai Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Vedai Yarade Adhama Patita Jiver Dware Dware Giya Adhama Patita Jiver Dware Dware Giya Harinama Maha Mantra Diye che bidaya Harinama Maha Mantra Diye na bilaya जार देखे तारे कहे दंते तृणाधारे जार देखे तारे कहे जार देखे तारे कहे दंते तृणाधारे दंते हमारे केने आलो बोलो गौरा हरि हमारे केने आलो बोलो गौरा हरि ये तो बोले नित्यानंद भूमे गाड़े जाए तो बोले नित्यानंद भूमे गाड़े जाए तो बोले नित्यानंद भूमे गाड़े जाए तो बोले नित्यानंद सोनारा पर्वते जेनो धुलाते लौटाए पर्वते जेनो धुलाते सोनारा पर्वत जेनो ढुलाते लौटाए सोनारा पर्वत जेनो ढुला हेनो अवतारे जार रतिना जन्मीलो हेनो अवतारे जार हेनो अवतारे जार रतिना जन्मीलो हेनो अवतार लोचन बोले से पापी लोर गेलो लोचन बोले से पापी लोर गेलो अकरोद परमानंद नित्यानंद राय अभिमान शून्य निताय नगरे बेडाय आदम पतित जीवे द्वारे द्वारे गिया हरि नाम मंत्र दीछे न दिलाइया जारे के तारे कोहे दंते तृणाधारे हमारे किनिया लो बोलो गौरा हरि जारे देखे तारे कहे दंते तृणाधारे हमारे किनिया लो बोलो गौरा हरि ये तो बोले नित्यानंद भूमि गाड़ी जाए सोनारा पर्वत जेनो ढूलाते लौटाए हेनो अवतारे जा रति न जनीलो लोचन बोले से पापी लोर गेलो जय नित्यानंद राम नित्यानंद राम नित्यानंद राम जय नित्यानंद राम
Sapient. Okay. Electronics. Online B होगा. B.
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवते नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. So I welcome you all for the series of Katha on Lord Nityananda. So today we will cover about who Lord Nityananda is, the tattva of Lord Nityananda, and a few pastimes. I'm reading from Chaitanya Bhagavat, where it is mentioned, Nityananda Janma Maghi Shukla Trayodashi Gaura Chandra Prakasha Falguni Purnamasi Sarva Sarvayatra Mangalaye Dui Punyatithi Sarva Shubha Lagna Adhisthana Haya Ithi एते के ये दुई तिथि करिले सेवना कृष्ण भक्ति होए खंडे अविद्या बंधना. So the meaning of this translation is, Lord Nityananda's Janma happens, Lord appears in the Magh Mas Shukla Trayodasi, and Lord Gaurachandra appears in Falgun Purnamasi. So these are considered as the most auspicious days. Sarva Jatra Mangala Yadui Punyatithi. Sarva Shubha Lagna Adhisthana Hoyati. So all the planetary systems are also so perfectly placed that it is very, very auspicious. And anybody who is taken birth on these 2 days, they will naturally be devotees. You can, in case during preaching, if you identify somebody is taken birth on, Magh Mas, Shukla Trayodasi, or, Falgun Purnima, it is guaranteed that he will have no problems, because all the planetary systems are all in absolute perfectly placed. He will be a devotee. Yeah. So it is said that Eteke Dui Tithi Karile Sevan. So anybody who observes these 2 tithis, it is 100% guaranteed that he gets Krishna Bhakti and he is freed from the bondage of material existence. So Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, it is, we have heard it several times. We have heard so many pastimes about their merciful nature. Yet somewhere deep in the heart, at least in my case, I fail to realize, how mercifully, they have given us this opportunity, and we are in this Kali Yuga, where, their lordships come once in a day of Brahma, and both, Lord Krishna and also Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu, and to the most fallen, they are giving the highest. Brahmara Durlabha Prem Sabakara Jache. What is that? Dina Hina Patita Pamar Nahi Bache. Nahi Bache means nobody escapes. Koi bhi nahi bachega. So that is the whole point. So everybody, whether somebody is qualified or not qualified, they get the mercy of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it is said that patra na dekhi na dekhi sthana sthan, je jahan paye tahan diye premadan. So they have not considered their all the conditioned souls position. So they do not see whether they are qualified or not qualified, and everybody is a recipient of the mercy of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya. So it is also said that they have appeared like Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Sahodito Gaudodaya Pushpavanto Chitro Shando Tamonado. Just like the sun and the moon, they have risen together to remove both the dark, the dense darkness of ignorance, and also to deliver, by their mercy, all the conditioned souls, whether they are qualified or not. So I wanted to cover the merciful aspect of Lord Nityananda. So as we all know, it is said, Brajendra Nandana Jai Sachi Sutta Hoilo Se Balram Hoilo Nitai. So Lord Balram is non-different from Lord Nityananda. So Lord Nityananda is Lord Balram. They are non-different. So Lord Balram or Lord Nityananda is the supreme personality of, wonderful. So he is the supreme personality of servitor Godhead. So he is himself acting as a servitor Godhead. So he is in the mood of service. He wants to be a servant. And it is only Krishna, Ekala Ishwara Krishna, Arasa Bhrityam. It is only Krishna who is the Supreme Lord, and everybody else, all his energies, including his internal potencies, all his energies, Radharani, his expansions, Balaram, everybody else is a servant. They want to serve Krishna in different ways, because there is more pleasure, there is more transcendental bliss in being a servant. And because of that, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is disturbed. Supreme Lord Krishna is disturbed, and he also wants to relish it. And that is how he comes as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lord Balram, he serves Krishna in different ways, in different rasas. He serves Krishna in Vatsalya rasa, Dasya rasa, Madhurya rasa, then Shanta rasa. He expands himself as the dham. He expands as the different paraphernalia of the Supreme Lord in the Shanta rasa. In case of Dasya rasa, he expands himself. He serves him like Lord Lakshmana served Lord Rama. And as Balram, he played the role of both being in Vatsalya rasa by controlling and telling Krishna what to do, and also at the same time he tried to serve him as a friend, play, frolic with him. So he was also on the Sakha rasa. And although Balram does not come directly in front of Radharani, because they do not see each other, but he is constantly staying with Radharani in another form as Ananga Manjari. So that way, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Gaura Nitai ki jai, Lakshmi Singh Dev Bhagwan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So as Ananga Manjari, he's constantly there, helping the divine couple engage in their pastimes. So that way, so in that way, Lord Balram actually serves Lord Krishna in different rasas. So that is his mood. Anyway, if first time I made some notes, I'm struggling to go through it because I'm unable to, follow that. Okay, so Lord Nityananda is the supreme servitor, and he apparently sometimes appears like he's disobeying the Supreme Lord, but that disobedience also is for the pleasure of the Lordship, because the Lord has an internal mood, an internal desire, which cannot be seen or understood by other normal conditioned souls, or even for that matter other devotees. But Lord Nityananda perfectly understood the mood of Lord Chaitanya, and externally it appeared that he was disobeying. Like, for example, the pastime of he breaking the danda of Lord Chaitanya. So although Lord Chaitanya expressed dissatisfaction externally, and he questioned him, why did you break this, or where is my danda? That is what he asked. And Lord Nityananda said, I don't know, you are ecstatically dancing here and there, you may have broken it. So then Mahaprabhu became angry. Then he said, I don't want to be with you, I will part ways and I will go on my own. So, but internally, Lord Chaitanya was feeling very happy, because Lord Nityananda's mood was, he is after all the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is not part of any varnashrama where he has to follow some sannyas dharma and carry a rod around. So that way he pleased the Supreme Lord. And many other pastimes like that, where Lord Nityananda, when Mahaprabhu, he was trying to travel to Vrindavan. Then he told a few boys, make sure that whenever he asks for the path, don't show him that right direction, you show him the other direction where he can come towards Ganga, because he wanted to bring him back to Shantipur. Now the mood of Lord Chaitanya was that he didn't wanted to part ways from his devotees, so that is the reason Nityananda Prabhu had to enact this entire thing. So some boys, they directed, no, this is the way for Vrindavan. And when he came to Ganga, then he could see, Advaita Acharya is coming in a boat. He is surprised, how come, this person, he thought that, it was Yamuna. So he was surprised why he is coming. Then Mahaprabhu asked him, how come Advaita Acharya, you are there here in Vrindavan? So Advaita Acharya also responded, oh, my Lord, wherever you are, there is that is Vrindavan. So that way, but still Mahaprabhu sensed, there is some dal mein kuch kala hai. So then he figured out that this is not Vrindavan. Then, but again, Advaita Acharya wanted to prove how this is, Yamuna, right? Yeah. So he tells him that, because at Prayag, when the when the rivers merge and when they divide, then the western side is actually Yamuna and the eastern side is Ganga. So now you are standing on the banks of Yamuna only. So that way, so many tricks. And also you cannot have any relationship with people in your Purva ashram. And although that was the condition, but still Nityananda Prabhu arranged for Shachi Mata to cook for Lord Chaitanya. So for 3 continuous days, she was cooking, and there was an very ecstatic atmosphere. All the devotees were very jubilant, very happy. And in fact, a lot of pastimes also took place where, Advaita Acharya would serve him, continuously. He would fill half the cups, but Mahaprabhu would say, how can I eat so much? I am after all a sannyasi. And he would tell, I know you, my lord, you've been eating in Jagannath Puri, so this is nothing for you. And then they would, serve, very ecstatically. And so many other pastimes also happened. The whole purpose was, although apparently it looked like, Mahaprabhu was breaking some principles of not traveling away from everybody, because you have to become a traveler once you become a sannyasi. But he's coming back to the same devotees with whom he was living. And what is this whole purpose and drama of, going to Katwa and taking sannyas and coming back and living with them on? So it is not like that. So it is the internal mood of the Supreme Lord was perfectly understood by Lord Chaitanya. So that is why, to fulfill all these desires of Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda Prabhu had to enact all this. Apparently it looked outside, externally, as if, Mahaprabhu was transgressing, any principle of sannyas or something like that. But it was never so, because he's beyond this. He's transcendental. He is not part of this, the society of this material world. And Lord Chaitanya's nature also was, to deliver all the, fallen conditioned souls. And he was ordered by Lord Chaitanya, both Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu, that please reach out to all the living entities and please deliver this message of Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Karo Krishna Shiksha. So he was on that mission of trying to reach out to everyone. Now we beautifully chanted this bhajan of Karoda Paramananda Nityananda Rai. So it very clearly tells how Nityananda Prabhu was very eager, he was very eager to deliver the fallen conditioned souls. So he would take a straw in his mouth and fall at the doors of all kinds of people, not just pious, all sinful, unqualified, lowest. He would fall at their feet and he would beg, he would request, please take to the holy names of the Lord. It is one thing to be most fallen. If somebody is very fallen, wretched, diseased, leper, we show some karuna. It it is understandable, yeah, because most fallen, degraded, wretched, so we can show mercy. But to be the most fallen and at the same time to get the highest is too much. And Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya came to give us that. They have come to give here the highest and to the most lowest. They have not come here to give the highest to those who are the highest. No, even to those who are the lowest. So that is why they do not discriminate. And that's why it is said, Brahma Durlabha Prem Sabhakara Jache. So even Brahma also does not get this, because there are so many unlimited number of incarnations of their lordships. We hear so many pastimes of how a prostitute was delivered just because she was chanting Rama with the parrot, or like Mlicha, he said haram haram and he got delivered. These are also adbhuta. These are also amazing pastimes where the Lord showed his special mercy on them. But the mercy of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya is unlimited. It is a billion times more than the mercy that we have seen in, throughout the Shastra. So it is completely, it cannot be explained in words. We only have to, be grateful. So that way, I wanted to discuss about this pastime of Jagai Madai, how they were actually delivered by Lord Nityananda. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Servitor Godhead, Lord Nityananda, is the one who, as Ananta Shesha, he would destroy the entire universe, not one, the entire universes in the entire material sky at the end of the day of Brahma, out of frustration, transcendental frustration, anger, because the jivas have not taken up to the devotional service of the Lord, because the whole purpose of material creation is defeated when the living entities do not take to the shelter of the Supreme Lord, and and they do not undergo the emancipation from here. So Lord Ananta Shesha is a very transcendental figure. He becomes angry. It's a transcendental anger. He burns down the entire universe. And we see his anger even as Lord Lakshmana in Ramayana. So there are certain incidents within Ramayana where the Lord shows his anger. So he is the most powerful being. He is the most powerful Supreme Lord, and yet here you see the pastime where he is. This is not the only pastime. Like we read in Akroda Paramananda Nityananda. Every home, every town, he is falling at the feet of others. He is being insulted. He is being abused. Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here also we see in this pastime of Jagai Madai how they are insulting Lord Nityananda, but he is tolerating it. So he is setting an example how preaching has to be done. We do not have to worry about insults. In the mood of Lord Nityananda, in the footsteps of Lord Nityananda, in the footsteps of the previous acharyas, we should try to go out, preach, and help give opportunity to all the living entities so that they get the mercy of their lordships. So I will read from, I don't know how much time we have already, I think another 20-25 minutes. Of course, this chapter is having 400 verses. Don't worry, I will. Somebody was laughing, so that is an indication. So we are not going to read through the 400 verses. Maybe 25 to 50 verses we'll try to cover. So we'll see just the essence of the mood of Lord Nityananda. एक दिन नित्यानंद नगर भ्रमिया निशाय से दोहे धरि लेक गया. After wandering through the city one day, Lord Nityananda went that night before Jagai and Madai. केरे केरे बलि डाके जगाय मधाय Nityananda बोले ना प्रभुर बाड़ी जाय. Jagai and Madai shouted, who are you? And Nityananda Prabhu replied, I am going to the Lord's house. मध्येर विक्षेपे बले किबा नाम तोर Nityananda बले अवधूत नाम मोरा. They asked him, what is your name? And Nityananda Prabhu replied, I am Avadhuta. So Nityananda Prabhu was in the mood of an child, he was intoxicated with Krishna Prem. So he didn't really, his mood was to deliver these. Today, he had decided that I will deliver these two rogues. Avadhuta nama shuni madhai kupiya marila prabhura shire mutaki tuliya. On hearing the name Avadhuta, Madhai became angry. He picked up a clay pot and hit the Lord's head. It was Madhai who was more merciless than Jagai. So it was Madai who hit on the head of Lord Nityananda. Putila मुटकी शिरे रक्त पड़े धारे नित्यानंद महाप्रभु गोविंद सनारे. The broken clay pot cut the Lord's head. He didn't hit with I don't know if it is not mentioned here. It appears like he hit him with a broken clay pot, and then the blood flowed from the wound, and Lord Nityananda remembered Govinda. The Supreme Personality of Godhead remembered the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So obviously we have to remember. दया हैल जगाईर रक्त देखी माथे आर बार मारिते धरिलता रहाते. On seeing the blood, Jagai felt compassionate and grabbed the hand of Madai, and he prepared to strike the Lord again. So somehow in the heart of Jagai, he felt compassion. Looking at the beautiful transcendental form of Lord Nityananda, there was some transformation in his heart, and he stopped Madai from, striking the Lord again. केन हेन करिले निर्दय तुमी दृढ़ देशांतरी मारिया की होइबे तुमी बड़ा. Why did you do that? You are very cruel. What will you gain by beating an outsider? This is spoken by Jagai to Madai. Then it is said, आथे व्यथे लोक गिया प्रभु रे कहिला सांगो पांगे तत्क्षणे ठाकुर आयला. नित्यानंदे रंगे सब रक्त वहे धारे हासे नित्यानंद से दुयारे भीतरे. रक्त देखी क्रोध प्रभु बाह्य नहे जाने चक्र 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 प्रभु डाके घने घने. अथ व्यथे चक्र आसी उपसन्न हैला जगाय मधाय ताहा नयने देखिला. प्रमाद गणिला सब भागवत गण अथ व्यथे नित्यानंद करे निवेदन. मदाय मारिते प्रभु राखिल जगाय दैवे से पड़िला रक्त दुख नहीं पाए. मोर भिक्का देह प्रभु ये दुई शरीर किछु दुख नाही मोरा तुमी हौ स्थिर. So some people quickly went and informed the Lord, who immediately came there. The entire body of Nityananda was covered with blood. Yet Nityananda smiled and stood there between the two. When the Lord saw the blood, he lost external consciousness. He called for chakra, chakra, chakra. He screamed. So the Sudarshan chakra immediately appeared there, and this was seen by Jagai and Madai. And all the devotees were bewildered. But Nityananda immediately appealed to the Lord, Madai Marite Prabhu Rakhila Jagai. Jagai protected me, my Lord. You don't have to be angry. It was Madai who tried to hit me, but Jagai tried to protect me. Daiva se padila rakta, dukkha nahi paye. This bleeding that I'm, which is happening, it was not because of the striking of Madai also. Somehow by providence, I started bleeding. It was not because of him. And I'm not feeling any distress. I'm not feeling any kind of pain. That was the nature of the Supreme Lord. Getting beaten by, rogues, and, he's telling that they are not responsible for, whatever is happening here. Then he says, give me these two in charity. May you be pacified, for I feel no pain. जगाए राखिल न वचन सुनिया जगाएर आलिंगन प्रभु सुखी हया. आलिंगिला प्रभु सुखी हया. जगाए रे भले कृष्ण कृपा करु तोरे नित्यानंद राखिया के नीली तुई मोरे. जे भ्रष्ट चित्ते देखा ताहा तुमी माग आज हते हो तोरा प्रेम भक्ति लाभ. On hearing these words, Jagai protected me. The Lord became happy and embraced Jagai. Immediately, Lord Chaitanya's heart changed. That clearly shows that their angers, the anger of whether it is, Lord Nityananda or Lord Chaitanya, of course, they are never anger. It is a transcendental anger. That is why the Lord is known as Akaroda Paramananda Nityananda. So whatever anger even Lord Chaitanya displayed is transcendental. It is not on the platform of false ego. When the anger is on the platform of false ego, when it is in the modes of nature, that anger will not suddenly disappear. It will not suddenly dissipate. It doesn't happen like that. Somebody has to be pacified, then, his body is hot, burning, and then, it'll take some few minutes, and then, but that didn't happen in case of Lord Chaitanya. So immediately, he became very happy and he embraced Jagai. And then he said to Jagai, may Krishna bestow mercy on you by protecting Nityananda, you have purchased me. Ask me for any benediction you desire. May you attain pure devotional service from this day. We also see how when in this episode of Meenaketan Ramdas, when Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami chastised his brother, then in the night, Lord Nityananda appeared and he was very, very pleased and satisfied with him. And then, he directs Kaviraj Goswami to, come to Vrindavan, and, he inspires him to meet all the Vaishnavas there. And that is when, he writes Chaitanya Charitamrita. Although he's 90-year-old and, his limbs are shaking, he does not know, he says that I never wrote, just like Prabhupada said, I never wrote these books. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also says, I don't know, I never wrote these books. Everything was done by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. It is by his mercy that, I'm able to describe. But although he is describing the glories of Lord Nityananda, throughout his book, he is glorifying Vrindavan Das Thakur. He's telling, if you want to really know about Lord Chaitanya, you should read Chaitanya Mangal. So that way, which is Chaitanya Bhagavat. So Jagaire Varashuni Vaishnava Mandala Jaya Jaya Hari Dhvani Karila Sakala. On hearing this benediction to Jagai, all the Vaishnavas chanted Jaya Jaya Hari Hari. Prema Bhakti Ho Kari Jakhan Balila Takhani Jagai Preme Murchita Haila. Soon as Lord said, may you attain pure devotional service, Jagai immediately lost consciousness due to ecstatic love. So Lord immediately benedicted him that he gets pure devotional service. Prabhu bole Jagai uthiya dekha more satyami prema bhakti dana dila tore. I have indeed, Satya, I'm not joking. I have really given you Krishna Bhakti. Wake up, get up. He's telling, Jagai. Chaturbhuja Shankachakra Gada Padmadhara Jagai Dekhila say Prabhu Vishwambara. So Jagai saw Vishwambar with, Shankachakra Gada Padma. Dekhiya Murchita Haya Padil Jagai Vakshe Shri Charana Dila Chaitanya Gosai. Seeing this, Jagai fell unconscious to the ground. Lord Chaitanya then placed his lotus feet on Jagai's chest. Receiving the treasure of Lord's lotus feet, which are the life and soul of Lakshmi, Jagai held them tightly as if they were invaluable jewels. Complete transformation into a pure devotee. Okay. Then Jagai and Madai were like one soul with two bodies. Yet here, one was pious and one was sinful, because one was completely transformed by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Jagaira Prabhu Jabe Anugraha Kaila Madaira Chitta Tata Kshane Bhala Haila. When Lord bestowed mercy on Jagai, the heart of Madai was immediately rectified. So there was change in the heart of Madai also. Athevete Nityananda Vasana Ediya Padila Charana Dhari Dandavata Haya. He quickly released Nityananda's cloth, fell flat and held the Lord's lotus feet. दुई जन एक ठाई कैला प्रभु पाप अनुकीना प्रभु कर दुई भाग. Lord, we both committed sinful activities together. Why do you divide us while bestowing your mercy? So, because there was a change in the heart of Madai, he was requesting Lord, how is that, he got special mercy while you are not giving it to me. I am feeling very, very desolate, So he was pleading, Madai was pleading. Mora anugraha kara laya torana mare uddhara kari bare nahiyan. Bestow your mercy on me so that I can chant your name. There is no one to deliver me other than you. Now let's hear, the Lord speaks. Let's see what the Lord speaks. प्रभु बोले तोरा त्राण नाही देखी मोय नित्यानंद अंगे रखता पड़ेली तेसे तुई मदाय बलय हा बलिते न पारे आपनार धर्म प्रभु आपनी के न छाड़े बाणे विंदी देखिल तोमा जय असुर गणे निज पद तास बारे तब दिले केने प्रभु बोले ताहा होते तोर अपराध नित्यानंद अंगे ते करिली रक्तपात आम होते यही नित्यानंद देह बड़ा तोरा स्थाने यही सत्य कहिला मधड़ा. So the Lord said, I do not foresee your deliverance, for you have drawn blood from the body of Nityananda. Madai said, you cannot say that. Can you imagine, his transcendental, conversation. You cannot say this. Why are you forsaking your duty? Why did you award your lotus feet to the demons that pierced your body with arrows? So here Madai is referring to all the different pastimes of Krishna, Rama, and Lord Vishnu, where he delivered so many demons in the past. So this is an indication that, of course, the details are not given here, but the indication is that they realized that Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They had heard it, they had ignored it. But here the realization is there. So he's saying, you cannot say this. Why are you forsaking your duty? Why did you award your lotus feet to the demons that pierced your body with arrows? The Lord replied, your offense is greater than theirs, because you have drawn blood from the body of Nityananda. The body of Nityananda is superior to mine. I emphatically tell you this truth. So the body of Lord Nityananda, the body of all the great Vaishnava Acharyas coming in the line of Nityananda representing the Guru Tattva is also sacred and more precious than the Lord's own body. So we have to be very careful that we do not commit offenses. We do not offend we do not offend anybody for that matter, any jiva also. So, but even more so when it comes to great Vaishnavas, one has to be very, very careful, because the Lord says the offense or the sin of offending great Vaishnavas is much more than any other sinful activity. If somebody is sinful, he has hope of the mercy of Lord. But somebody who is an offender, then it becomes very difficult. There is no solution. The Lord tells that one should take the shelter of the same devotee to be freed from that offense. Satya jadi kahila Thakur morasthane balah nishkriti mui paiba ke mane. Oh Lord, if you are telling me the truth, then tell me how will I be delivered? You destroy all disease, for you are the crest jewel of all physicians. If you treat me, then I will be cured. Cured of material disease. That is what he is talking about. O Lord of the universe, please do not deceive me. Now that you know, how will you hide? So he's saying that, you are the supreme Lord, your nature is to be merciful. You have all the solutions. Please give me the solution. You cannot hide. He's become very intelligent. Then the Lord said, you have committed a grave offense. Go and grab hold of Lord Nityananda's lotus feet. That would have brought a great, sigh of relief in Madai, because, he was entreating the Lord again and again and again, reminding him his superior position, the supreme position. And then the Lord immediately gave him the solution. Yes, go hold on to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. So being ordered by Lord, Nityananda then caught hold of the invaluable treasure of Lord Nitai's lotus feet. Nitai Charana Kamala Koti Chandra Shushitala. So Je Charana Dharile na Jaye Kabhu na Shrevati Janena Ye Charana Prakash. By taking refuge of those lotus feet, one is never vanquished. Revati knows well the glories of those lotus feet. So anybody who holds on to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, who follows the instructions of Lord Nityananda, the mood of Lord Nityananda, which is to preach, to go out, reach out to other people, then they are never vanquished. Vishwambhara Baleshuna Nityananda Rai Padila Charane Kripa Karite Joyai. Vishwambhara said, listen Nityananda, now that he has fallen at your lotus feet, it is proper for you to show him mercy. He's also directing, okay, that you show him mercy. The Lord is not telling you decide whatever you want to do, Nityananda. If you want, you can forgive him, or if you want, you can reject him. No. He is telling, he's properly falling and taking shelter of your lotus feet. Please, forgive him. I hope you're all understanding the mood. The mood of their lordships, both are same, Their mood is forcibly give mercy, forcibly forgive people. That is the mood. So, it is not that, Lord Nityananda is very merciful. Lord Chaitanya is very, stubborn, and it is very difficult to reach out. Yes, obviously, through the mercy of Lord Nityananda, we get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, but both are equally merciful. That is the whole point. So, although one moment he was ready to kill, called for chakra, but the other moment he's telling, he is properly, taken your shelter. Please forgive him. Please show your mercy. This is what he is saying. तोमार आगे ते जेना कैला रक्तपात तुमी से क्षमिते पार पड़िला तोमात. Since he has made you bleed, only you can forgive him, and now he has fallen at your feet. नित्यानंद बोले प्रभु की बलि बमोई वृक्ष द्वारे कृपा कर से हर शक्ति तुई. Lord Nityananda replied, "O Lord, what can I say? You have the potency to bestow mercy even through a tree. Who am I? So that way, Lord Nityananda was speaking. So Lord Nityananda is giving all the credit to Lord Chaitanya, saying that, it is your mercy. Who am I? Kona janme thake jadi amara sukrita sabadilu madaire shonaha nishchita morajata aparadha kichu dayana maya chhada kripa kara tumara madai. I declare emphatically that if I have ever accumulated piety in any lifetime, I give it all to Madai. Can you imagine giving away all your piety to somebody who is sinful, who tried to beat us up, who tried to insult us, tried to kill us? Only the Supreme Lord can have this kind of a mercy. If one devotee does it to another devotee, I don't think, at least in my case, I wouldn't. I would rather pray that, may all his piety come to me, because I had heard that if you tolerate, our sins go to him and his piety comes to me. So I may probably pray. So he is relieved of any offense committed against me. Do not bewilder him. Bestow mercy on your Madhai. So, Lord Chaitanya is telling that, do not bewilder him. Don't play around. It is sufficient, your Leela is sufficient. Bestow mercy on Madai. This is what he's asking. So this famous, welcome, what is that? Arrival address by by Srila Prabhupada when he reached Atlanta. I'm sure you all have heard, on, I think it was Nityananda Trayodasi, I think it was, Gaura Nitai were established and installed, and Srila Prabhupada became very happy seeing, Gaura Nitai being worshipped, and he sang this, Parama Karuna Pahudoi Jana Bhajan. And after that, he was completely uncontrollable. He broke down into tears. He was so grateful, so grateful. He could see that, Gaur Nitai, the most merciful incarnation, they have appeared in the West, and they are being worshipped by Americans. Americans worshipping Gaur Nitai right in front of the eyes of Srila Prabhupada within 5-6 years. It is no less than a miracle. Looking at that great mercy of their lordships, Prabhupada couldn't control himself. He broke down. It was just like 2-3 minutes. He sang. He couldn't continue with the class. He said, Hare Krishna. That's it. So he was very, very, very grateful to their lordships. That shows genuine compassion which Prabhupada had. He thought, let me give it a try. And we hear this where, Prabhupada, when he was there in the first year, he would repeatedly go to the harbor, to the port, to see when is the next ship back to India. He said, I want to give it a try because it was my spiritual master's desire. So I have come with great struggle. I've been doing it for last 1 year. And initially he thought, when maybe, I should go back. I should go back. He never thought that, of course, he had no, his faith never reduced in the potency of the Supreme Lord. But he himself thought, I'm incapable. But when he saw all these transformations of their lordships, appearing, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, appearing, Rath Yatras happening all around, and Gaur Nitai being worshipped, he just couldn't control. He could clearly see that, it is the will and desire of the Lord to deliver everyone, every town and village. So he became very blissful, very, happy. And there's another pastime where where Srila Prabhupada, one devotee, fell away, and then Srila Prabhupada called him back, and then he tried to engage him in some service, forcibly, engage him in some service. And all his leading disciples were disturbed. They said, Prabhupada, why are you doing this? He's completely fallen away and he's, not fit. Why do you want to give him services? We can do all that. And then Prabhupada made this statement. He said, you do not know the unlimited mercy of Lord Nityananda. That was the statement Prabhupada made. So we don't know, the unlimited mercy of Lord Nityananda. Somebody may be fallen, somebody may not be practicing properly, but because he is engaging in some service given by his spiritual master, he has great hope. Just because, he is serving in that line of, Guru Parampara, then, Lord Nityananda's mercy will obviously, come upon him. We see all these examples, we see even, like I said, I mentioned about these pastimes of how somebody said haram. In the same way, we see even in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya also, mercy of Lord Ramanujacharya, where somebody was deaf and dumb. He couldn't even, hear katha, or he couldn't chant, but still, he was very repentant. Then Ramanujacharya, places his lotus feet on him, and he tells him, you don't worry, you don't have to you don't have to recite, or you don't have to hear. I give you my full blessing that you'll be delivered. Or that milk lady, who would come and deliver, she wanted recommendation from Ramanujacharya, and Lord Ramanujacharya recommended to Tirupati Balaji that, I recommend that, this lady should be delivered. Tend the lotus feet of the Lord. So these special mercy is there throughout. We see in Shastra, and we also see among the great Vaishnavacharyas. But Lord Nityananda's mercy is completely, most glorious and most unlimited. So it cannot be underestimated. And we should be very happy, and we should be very, very fortunate that we are in this moment where we have the mercy of Lord Nityananda. I mean, I'm unable to express in words. You all should understand, what we are, where we are, and how fortunate we are. Another 5 minutes and then we'll close it. Okay, so Lord Nityananda tightly embraced Madai, who was who as a result was freed from all material bondage. Nityananda entered the body of Madai, and Madai became filled with all energies. And then in this way, the two were delivered, and they began to offer prayers at the lotus feet of the two lords. Prabhu bole tora are na karis papa, jagai Madai bole are na re bapa. They are telling are na re bap, they are saying nahi mere bap, we'll never commit sin. प्रभु बोले शोना शोना तोरा दुई जाना सत्य सता आमी तोरे करिलाम मोचन कोटि कोटि जन्म जादा जता आछे पाप तोर आर जदि न करी सबदया मोर. The Lord said, listen, both of you, I have indeed delivered you today. I take full responsibility for whatever sinful activities you have performed in your previous millions of lifetimes, provided you do not commit sin again. So after initiation, if we are not following the rules and we are committing sinful activities, then we lose the mercy of Lord. In one sense, it is a punishment. Losing the mercy of the Lord is a punishment. But of course, it is not a perpetual punishment. We again, by the mercy of the devotees only, we get the mercy of the Lord again. So that is why no matter, how sinful, how degraded a person may be, we should never let go the devotee association. We should always continue to remain in devotee association. This famous story of Kala Krishna Das is there, where he was attracted to the Bhattatari women, the tribe, and Lord Chaitanya had to pull him back. And when he brought him back, he rejected. He responsibly brought him back. He didn't, reject him in Kerala. This happened in Kerala. That's what I heard. So he brought him back all the way till Puri, and there he rejected in front of the devotees. So he was very depressed. And then it was Lord Nityananda and Jagadananda Pandit and Damodar Pandit who decided that, we have to engage him. We have to give him something. They said, Mahaprabhu rejected. Why I should associate with him? Let him go wherever he wants. They didn't say that. If something happens to some devotee, he's behaving like this, he's doing that. Oh, the temple only has asked him, leave. Why I should have relationship with him? Let him go, This is, a natural mood. But the Vaishnavas are showing us, what should be the mood. No matter what, no matter how degraded, how fallen, we engage him in the service of the Lord. So they gave him the service of, traveling, carrying the news of Mahaprabhu to Bengal, and he was quite engaged. Actually, it is said that when he reached Navadvip Dham, for 3 days, they were hearing from Kala Krishna Das, about the glories and pastimes. Can you imagine? Somebody who is fallen away, but who was brought back and engaged in service, they are all eagerly hearing from him. And he's sharing, they gave him a lot of goodies. So he was sharing with everybody. And then they were hearing from him, what all happened, what are the pastimes and this and that. So he was perfectly engaged, how happy he should be, although I didn't keep my, purity properly, but still the devotees engaged me in, in the Lord's service. So that should be the mood of a devotee, to engage everybody. So, so the illusion of the two Brahmanas was destroyed and they merged in an ocean of ecstasy. Knowing this, Lord Vishwambara instructed them as follows. So he also said that I will eat through the mouths of you two and I will incarnate in your bodies. So Avesh, Avesh avatar. So Avesh is nothing but Lord entering into the body of a devotee. And actually the Lord also says nobody should criticize Jagai and Madai, and they are pure devotees. I have taken all their sins and they are as pure as all of you, and everybody comes and they pay obeisances to Jagai and Madai and they consider as one among them. So the Lord is setting an example that, once a devotee takes to initiation, do not refer to his past. Do not talk about his faults. Do not criticize him, because the Lord will be angry. He clearly mentions that, he will be a great offender and he will not be a recipient of my mercy. Anybody who criticizes Jaga and Madai, that is what he says. So all the devotees, they take their shelter, they pay obeisances to them. And, the pastime continues. It's another, a total of 400 verses. So we will end here. So this is the mercy of Lord Nityananda, a very small glimpse of the mercy of Lord Nityananda. But the mercy is unlimited. It cannot be fathomed with our, material mind. It's impossible to fathom that. But we only hear and we appreciate and we are grateful and we feel fortunate that we are here, in this moment where we are recipients of the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I wanted to discuss something on, Akaroda Paramananda and Nitai Padakamala. That is what I had made some notes. No, there are others.
Hare Krishna, Ashok Prabhu. Thank you very much for the wonderful class. Today we heard the glories of Nityananda Prabhu and his unlimited mercy.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, what he means by eating through the mouths, Prabhu? I will eat through your mouths, Jagat.
Ranimataji, I think Prabhuji has gotten up from his seat.
You will be able to tell me, Prabhu.
I will ask him and I will provide the clarification.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki jai.
Gaura Premananda ki Hari Hari Gaura. Hare Krishna. Dandavad.
Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for being with us for today's special session. We will continue to have Nityananda Trayodasi special sessions until this Friday. So we will meet again tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock and we'll continue with the glorification of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Hare Krishna. I'll be ending the Zoom session now.